Alright, man. Whoa. Wasn't good, man. I want to welcome y'all to the 30,000 subscriber version of Ask FlemLo, man. It's a Q&A. If you're not familiar with how it works, people hit me up on Twitter, ask me their question using the hashtag #AskFlemLo, and I only do these ever so often. I just first wanted to say before we get into the Q&A, man, thank y'all. 30,000 subscribers is a pretty big deal. So obviously this is gonna be a little bit of a longer video. Y'all kind of sit back, chill, relax. I'm gonna answer these questions, and I go pretty in depth. I try to give every question a real answer on here. So I'm gonna start out with at the beginning. Okay, Hayden Rogers asks, what's the scariest thing that happened to you? Scariest thing that happened to me? It's a couple. It's hard to know the scariest, but I remember my house got broken into on Valentine's Day some years back, like maybe 4 or 5 years back. You know, that was, and I was gone for like 10 minutes. Literally, when I came back, they had taken like 3 TVs, computer, my polo boots. There's a lot of electronics and, you know, things like that, because I had a ton of electronics. Y'all know I was working in sales at that point, and I was getting discounts on stuff. I was winning shit all the time, and it was really my first apartment, and I just wasn't as smart about bringing my shit into my house, into my home, as I should have been. But probably the scariest thing was that somebody could have been there, you know, because like the day before that, my girl's cousin, who's female, was staying with us, and so we could have left, and she could have been there. Or I could have left, or my girl could have been there. And the night before, I had 24 hours I had to stay over at my store. I was managing at that time, so like they would come and buff the floors, and it took all night. So one of the managers would have to hit that 24-hour cycle. I used to like to volunteer for it, because I just sit up in the front and play my Xbox on whatever big dope ass TV I wanted to. DJ probably come through and we play a season on NCAA or some shit like that. But you know, so it could have been that night. So that was scary. And then the second thing is going full time on YouTube is, I don't know if that happened. That didn't really happen to me. That was a decision I made, but that was a very, very scary situation, because I had a son, I had a family essentially at that point, and I was and still am the primary provider for my family. And so without my income, you know, we don't make it. So that was very, very scary, but man, the drive was so strong. It kind of let you know how strong it was, to the point where I felt like I just had to. I had to do it. I fought it for a long time. I had put in the work. I knew what I needed to do. I made the decision. I was scared as hell. I worked as hard as I possibly could, and you know, fortunately, man, thank God, here we are. You know, here we are. We still live. We still survive. Next up, Emir Chapman asks, "What job does your wife have?" She works a regular job. Right now, she works in insurance. I won't give her exact job, but she works in insurance. Which is funny, because my girl has a master's degree, and she doesn't work in her field, because she hasn't been able to find a job in her field yet. And so, you know, that same old kind of college story of people would tell you, oh, you gotta go to college and make sure, you know, you back the plan, and that's the safe route. Is nothing's guaranteed, right? So she's doing that right now, and she really loves her job, and that's great. I hope that one day she maybe want to go into her field. We're probably gonna move from here though, move like to Texas or somewhere, but maybe have a few more opportunities for her, because obviously I can work anywhere at this point. And so yeah, that's what she does though. Next question comes from Javari Chambers. Hey FlemLo, been around since 11K. Keep grinding. But anyway, what are your favorite NBA and NFL teams? My favorite NBA and NFL teams. Favorite NFL team is the Cincinnati Bengals. Every time I answer this question, I always look to see if my hat is over here. It's not. It's over there in the closet. Cincinnati Bengals fan. I've been one for over 10 years. I don't really remember exactly when, but it was definitely been over 10 years. Probably close to like 15 years I've been a Bengals fan. So that's my squad. And then I'm a LeBron fan in basketball. Became a LeBron fan kind of late, to be honest. Like when he made the decision I never hated LeBron, but I wasn't the biggest fan. But when he made the decision to go to Miami, and just the hate that he got really made me pull for him, because I thought it was unwarranted. You know, he served his contract, he did his thing, and then, you know, he's a free agent. So he went to another team, and people burning jerseys and shit. I just thought that was the most ridiculous thing I ever saw in my life. And I became a LeBron fan. And I've been rocking with him since then. Eddie G asks, what is your favorite game mode other than Dynasty and RTG? I mean, Dynasty is my favorite game mode. I just really started playing RTG. My first RTG that I went like all the way through was TD, believe it or not. I would always get bored with RTG, play like, you know, 5-6 games and be done with it. So Dynasty is still my favorite. I know you said other than those two. If you've been watching the channel, you know I literally just started playing Mascot Mashup, which that's a fun mode, but it's not deep enough to be my favorite mode. I'm liking Ultimate Team, but I've only played one game of that also, because I do that stuff usually the day that you see it, or in a rare case maybe the day before. But I've literally only played that one game of Ultimate Team. I like it, and I know it's it's like a dumbed down version of what the mode used to be, but it still exists and it still seems fun. But I mean, Dynasty is just my favorite, and I guess other than those two, it'd probably be Ultimate Team. Okay, Timmy Turner asks, what is your favorite thing about YouTube? Man, that is a deep question, because I love so much about YouTube. I mean, there's some things I don't like, but for first things I love, number one, being my own boss is extremely important to a person like me, the way I'm wired. It's 5:30 a.m. right now. You know, I like to get to it first thing in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get my workout in usually, and then I like to get straight to my work, you know, and dive in. And, you know, when I'm done, I'm done. You know, I love that about YouTube. I love the competitive aspect of it. There's so many people that do content, you know, similar to mine, or maybe in the same field. And though it's not like I want to take your head off type of competition, it's still a competition. It's the same thing like in sales. Like, it's a controlled, you know what I mean? Because you can't, in sales and in YouTube, you can't get mad at a person and be like, oh, I'm gonna beat this one, because that doesn't help you, because you still need to be creative. You need to be doing your own thing. Same thing in sales. You can't run up on a customer, hey, what's up, motherfucker, I need to beat this person in sales. Nah, you gotta control that shit and be smooth and do your thing, and it gotta make you raise, you know, your game to the next level. I really love that about YouTube. I love the commission, you know, you get paid, the pay per play type of deal. You know, the harder you work, the more you can make, versus a traditional 9-to-5 job. You're gonna get paid the same thing regardless. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I think I already talked about I love the entrepreneurial aspects of it, to where, because you're building this platform of people who come directly to you, which is gonna be my next thing, you can branch out, and you can start to leverage your platform, or leverage your influence to be able to make other business moves as well. And probably the dopest thing about YouTube, and the reason I chose YouTube as my creative outlet, damn, I skipped that. Go back. I'm coming back to that. I get to wake up and be creative every day. That's the best thing about it. That's why I'm able to get my ass out the bed at 4 a.m. every fucking day. I couldn't do that before. Never in my life. Like, always been a morning person, but by morning, I was up by like 6:30, but I wasn't doing nothing constructive until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I kind of learned to move slow and groggy in the morning, just kind of mocking other people, because I was always wired in the morning. But, you know, society was like, no, don't be that excited in the morning. You calm the fuck down. So I eventually adopted that. But now I'm back, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I get to wake up and create every day. That's an amazing thing, man. And make a living doing it. It's like, it's nothing better than that to me. Like, nothing on this earth better than that. But the last thing, and probably the greatest overall thing, which I've attempted to say like 3 times now, is I get to go straight to you guys. There's no gatekeepers on YouTube. It's not like, think about it, like if I'm trying to get into movies, which I do plan to do eventually, there's gatekeepers, right? There's people who I need to impress to put me in a position to be able to be in a movie, or to write on a movie, or to, you know, because I want to do that next. On YouTube, I can go straight to the source. So if my product is dope, they can't deny me. You know, the powers that be can't deny me. You know what I'm saying? If it's hot, it's hot. And the people, the market, you guys decide what's hot and what's not. And so if you watching my stuff constantly, then that means that I got a hot channel, you know? And people can't deny that. Like, the powers that be can't deny that. The haters can't deny that. You know what I'm saying? They can say what they want, but essentially, because I get to go straight to y'all and have a connection, well, there's nothing they can do. Like, I remember Lupe had a line. He said, what song was that? All right, already the show goes on all night till the morning. The dream so long. Body ever wonder that song? But the line was, I don't remember the first part of the line, but right at the end of it, he says, "We're the brand that the fans trust, so even if they ban us, they'll never slow the bands up." I hope that answered your question. What's your best advice for football players at the high school level? Eliminate limiting beliefs. Eliminate limiting beliefs. Don't let people discourage you based on maybe where you're located. You know, maybe you go to a small school. I went to a super small school, and I'll tell you about the weak shit I did. You know what I mean? I think back on it now, it was so weak. Don't do what I did. I'll tell you in a second. But that's one thing. Number two, understand that it's somebody out there that's working harder than you. Like, I don't give a fuck how hard you think you working. They're working harder than you. They're outworking you. Today, y'all got so many resources. And I had a few because I was coming up in that era and we had DVR. So I recorded like a day, you know, not a day in the life. NFL Life, like Jerry Rice and stuff. And when I would watch that and I would see he was hitting the heel and all the work, the hardest he worked, and I tried to emulate that. I don't think I went far enough because I listened to people say, "Oh man, you out there in that hot sun running them hills?" And I was like, well, yeah. And so I felt good. I was like, well, I must be doing enough. Maybe I should dial it back. Fuck that. You're never doing enough. You know what I mean? Like, get it in, leave no stone unturned, and if you go as hard as you possibly can, you will get to where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody that can hold you back from that, but you really got to believe it, and you got to put in the work. You got to work harder than you think you need to work, if that makes sense. Hope that helps. Oh, but that thing I was saying I did, I only sent my tapes. I went to a really small school. I was hurt a lot of my senior year. I only played in 6 games, but in those 6 games, I had over 600 yards and like 8 or 9 touchdowns. So I averaged 100 yards a game and over a touch, like 1.2 touchdowns a game, something like that. So 100 yards, touchdown every single game I played my senior year. And a lot of those games I played hurt because I was really fucked up the whole year. Had back spasms, turf toe, shit that just bothered me the entire season. Like, I never was really 100%. Anyway, that's irrelevant. All I sent my tape to were SWAC schools, Southwestern Athletic Conference. That's Division I AA schools, which one I eventually ended up going to, Southern University. Every last school offered me a scholarship that I sent it to, and I was happy with that. Like, I felt like, okay, great, because a lot of people I knew was going to JUCOs and stuff like that, but I just felt like I made the wrong move. Thinking back, I didn't even send my tape to any D1 1A schools. Not one. Because I was invited to a Mississippi State camp, but I twisted my ankle in a real basketball game, like organized basketball game, literally the day before. Literally the day before. It was a high ankle sprain. I was fucked up. I could barely walk. I was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so no limiting belief, man. Send your tape to as many people as you can. Y'all got YouTube now, so it's easier to archive this stuff. It's easier to go on the internet and find the addresses, because I was doing this myself, you know. Find the address to send the tape to, send it off. Every school offered me a scholarship that I sent it to, but I only sent it to schools like on this level. Like, I didn't even shoot for this level, which was just weak. I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. And the next question kind of ties into that. Clay Ramsey asks, what was the recruiting process like for you? It was cool. I'm a homebody, so I get bored real quick. Like, when people try to sell me. I don't like, unless you're really good. Like if you're really good, I'm like, man, you a beast. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I guess I always had that sales in me. I just didn't know it at this time. But I went to Jackson State on my visit, and they were getting new coaches. So I knew I wasn't going there. Like the second I got there and I realized they were getting new coaches, it was out. Because I was like, I didn't feel like they had no stability. It was 100 recruits up there. They was like, we're redoing everything from. So what I'm thinking is, okay, so y'all really don't know what the fuck y'all want to do. I got to come in and, you know, be one of 20 receivers, 20 of the best receivers out of the state. And I ain't got no name. You know, I don't want to come here. You know what I'm saying? But they did have some strippers that were cool. I'm not a stripper guy. You know what I'm saying? I like to earn everything. And that's like weird. This is finna get kind of weird. That's universal with me. Like, and whatever I do, don't give me nothing. That's why I love that No Favors song so much. It's like, stripper, like if you a chick and I get your affection, which I can do relatively easily, but I just want to earn it. Like, let me approach and do my thing, and then we move forward like that. Like, don't just be some dude gifted you because he trying to get me to sign with his team. No, fuck that. I don't want that. That's too easy. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I went, visited Southern, and I liked that school. And then it was like it's a process of elimination. It wasn't a big deal to me, to be honest. I knew I was gonna go to college. Like I never cared about. It was never a big thing because I was like, it's easy to go to college. You can do is pass high school. It's like, what the fuck you mean? Like everybody, oh, you need to go to college. I'm gonna go to college. So, and I'm good enough. If they got a football team, I'll make the team. I don't really care. So the scholarship was just extra. It was just cool, you know what I'm saying? But Grambling was on probation, so they offered me, but I didn't go there. I didn't want to go to Mississippi Valley. I wanted to get out of Mississippi. So all the Mississippi schools were out, and it just kind of left Southern, man. And I remember a dude from Alcorn came. Alcorn, like 5 minutes from my house. I grew up on that campus. I played basketball in the gym against college kids my whole life when I was in middle school and high school. And he came. He was the last person to come to the crib, like super late, and then he gave me a homework assignment, and it pissed me off. It was like, man, look it up. Where your presentation at? You know who I am? Like that's how I felt, like slighted by that. So I didn't go to Alcorn. But yeah, it was cool. I guess I knew I was about to go to college, so I really wanted to spend that summer at home. You know, I had a girlfriend at the time. I always had a girlfriend. And I just wanted to be there because I was the man. And I wanted to, let me experience this last month at home. I ain't got time to be going to schools. Like, I'm going to be there for the next 4 years. God damn it, I don't really need to be there this entire summer going through this process. So that's how I was. I'm a little different. I'm wired a little different than most people, though. Eddie G asks, what is your greatest accomplishment on YouTube other than 30,000 subs? Two things come to mind. First is the first 1,000 subs that I got. That was probably the hardest. And in my mind, I celebrated like a motherfucker. Like in my mind, people was like, "Oh man, you kind of overstay. It's only 1,000 subs." But I'm like, "No, motherfucker, you don't understand. Like if I could get 1,000 people, and I said this then, if I could do 1,000 people once, I could do it 100 times. Just all I do is repeat the same process over and over because I knew what I did. I didn't luck up and get 1,000. Like I worked and got it, and that's exactly how I wanted it. So that one thing, and then now duplicating that 30 times, and I got to do it a whole bunch more times, And my biggest accomplishment is building the channel on, being true to me, right? Like that's really the best thing about it because it makes it that much easier to do YouTube. Like, because a lot of people will, and I used to get this, I still get this as a matter of fact, or you can't grow doing NCAA, or you can't curse, or you can't do this, you can't do this. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and I'm gonna build my channel that way. I'll find people who fuck with me, like, and I realize there's so many people. That's people's issue. It's like they just want to go after the biggest group, the biggest demographic. I want to go after the demographic that match up with my personality so that I can just get on here and be myself and these people will enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So I built the channel on NCAA, an old ass game that people told me I couldn't grow while playing, creating stories. Because if you look, my channel, I strayed from the storytelling for a while, but if you look at the beginning of my channel, I had what if Allen Iverson played football, and I built the whole, that story, all the information was really there. I just made it kind of cinematic and built upon it. He chose the school and everything. I was an RTG. I didn't do it for long, but I started it. I also did, I had Jacktown Jags. That was my Madden 16 series. It was basically just a franchise mode where I had some creative players and built some stories around them. It was pretty dope, but I didn't continue it because it really wasn't getting the viewership for the work that it takes to put those types of videos together. But, you know, like I said, my greatest accomplishment is just being able to wake up, be FlemLo, and play the game I want to play, do what I want to do, and still be able to forge a connection with my fan base. And it's pretty dope, man. Like, I probably got the best subscribers. Like, and everybody says that, but my base has always been very, very strong. Like, even when I had like 1,000, 2,000 subs, like them 30 people that watch every video, like that was always tight. Like, it was always strong. And you know, that's really the thing that I appreciate the most, man. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I do put a lot of my my personal shit out there, and I'm good with that. Like, cause it's an outlet for me, number one, and number two, I like to let people know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think it's been a real bond. It's really a blessing that it's worked out like that. But that's the greatest accomplishment. Adam now asks, do you remember the stats from your best game at wide receiver? Mine was 5 catches for 107 and the TD. That was a good ass game, bro. I really don't, man. Only game I remember stats, like I remember plays, but it was like 10 years ago, bro, and I got no tape, so I really don't remember. But like, I remember touchdown plays. You know, I remember I scored 2 touchdowns versus our rival team. I think that was in the first game of the season, and we lost. But I knew I was gonna have a big season. But that's like the only one I remember. Other than that, I just remember like big plays. I don't remember stats for individual games. But like I said, for the whole season, I remember I had over 600 yards because I had on the all district thing. I made the thing. And I remember just seeing that in like the newspaper clippings and shit. But I don't even know where none of that stuff's at, man. I think I still got some of the newspaper clippings, actually. I have to find it. I think it's in my senior book. Next question, Braden Durham. How does your girlfriend feel about you doing YouTube? She's cool with it now. I think she's always been cool with it. Like, I know she was worried, but the good thing about her is she know how I'm built. We've been together like 10 years. So when I first came with that, I'm pretty damn sure she thought I was insane. And she was like, you got a good job, you need to keep it. You already quit one good job. So, you know, you gonna quit again for YouTube? You know, probably what she thought, but she didn't say that. What she said was, you know, I believe in you, I'm behind you, and, you know, I know you can make it work. Now, we've had some tough times because, you know, she hadn't been able to live the lifestyle that she grew accustomed to living with me when I was working in sales. But we've been making it through, man. We've been making it through and pushing. And, you know, here we are. So she's good. She's good. Oh, and I think she saw how it tore at me, too. Like, she saw it was, like, killing me. Like, every day, I just hated what I was doing. I wanted to do YouTube so fucking bad. And it's apparent. It's apparent in my videos. It's even more apparent when you see me in person every day. That's all I talk about. Oh, look, I did this. And I flipped this like this. And, you know, because I'm always thinking strategy of how to grow and how I was going to do it and trying to convince her that it was the right decision. So, yeah, she's good with it. Okay, Devin asks, Flem, who do you look up to in the world? Keep rocking, homie. Been supporting since you photoshopped your face on YouTube. Yeah, that was funny. I remember that. Who I look up to in the world? I look up to entrepreneurs, go-getters, just people who have built careers on being themselves. I'll throw some names out: Jay-Z, Joe Rogan, Steve Harvey, Master P, you know, 50 Cent. People who and a lot of YouTubers too. Like, cause YouTube to me is, especially if you start out solo building a channel, like there's like team channels, which is cool, and there's channels who build teams around, which I'm gonna build a team around my channel eventually. But people who start at zero and build by themselves and have a vision that this thing could be a lot more than me just sitting in front of the camera talking. It can really be a whole bit. Like, those are the people who really blaze their own path and do what the fuck they want to do. And I think most people, even if they don't realize it, that we kind of all look up to those types of people, because if you watch movies, that's generally who it's about. You know what I mean? Like, when you read books, these stories, like lasting stories, it's usually about somebody who has done something extraordinary or exceptional, took a lot of risks, took a lot of chances, and blazed their own path, and then became successful. And those are usually the most successful and dominant people in our society. So I'm drawn to that, and I want to be one of those people. Okay, Nargan Nation asks, what's your opinion on college athletes being paid, and do you think it will ever happen? My opinion is that they should absolutely be paid in some form of fashion, and my reasoning is simple. The coach is a millionaire. The school's making billions. I mean, the school's making tens of, maybe even hundreds of millions. The NCAA is making billions. Like, everybody's balling, and they're balling based on a product that's put on the field by the players. So you mean to tell me every single person gets to get paid except the people who are actually taking all the risk? It doesn't work like that in anything else, right? If you work, like when I worked in sales, I sold $1 million. How much I made? 80 racks. Why? Because I took the least risk, because I didn't put my money out front. I didn't lose any money if the stuff didn't sell, if it got stolen, if, I didn't bet early on. Usually, people who take the most risk get the most money. Now, the players did not found the NCAA. They didn't come up with it. So maybe they shouldn't get paid the most. I'm not saying that, but they should get something for sure. And a fucking scholarship is not worth what you think it's worth if you're one of those people. In 2017, like, a lot of scholarships, like, again, I know multiple people with master's degrees who don't even work in those fields because those jobs are hard to come by. That shit is not as valuable as a lot of people think. You know what I'm saying? And people who get injured and can never play again. It's not fair, in my opinion, to put them dudes out there in the field and give them basically nothing. The NCAA is going to fight that forever. The amateurism shit is a way they made some illegal shit legal, and it's kind of fucked up. But it was very, very smart on their part. So, like, I respect it from a business standpoint. I'm just saying, if we're being fair, the players should get something. Chicken asks, why do you say let's eat so much during the AD series? I don't know, man. I say let's eat, let's go. You know what I mean? Just something. Anytime to denote that something good has happened on the field. Sports Intel Daily asks, will you ever do a coaching series like you do the AD and TD series? I've done a coaching series like that, believe it or not. My first series was like that, UTEP. I don't know if you've seen that one, but that was built around a lot of story elements, and I was the coach, and I would get in trouble. I got suspended, like, you know what I'm saying? Which basically ended that series was a ban, NCAA ban that I hit. Now, my channel was smaller then. It may not have been put together as well, but I've done that before, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that again. It just really depends on what's hot on the channel, what people are responding, what the most people are responding to, as to what direction I'm gonna go next. Like, it's gotta be something that, number one, I like doing, something that's fun to me, that's true to me, and that people are responding to. It's gotta be a combination of the two. If it's not both, then I'm not gonna do it on a long period of time. All right, Param Crow asks, congrats on 30K. Further thoughts to share on your business ideas for when you're huge? That audience is coming fast. Yeah, appreciate it, Param. Same to you, big dog. Keep grinding. But yeah, first, my business ventures, like, a lot of stuff that I'm going to do or that I plan to do is built around me. Like, I'm never going to do something specifically only for the money, right? Like, and please don't get that confused with me saying that I don't want to make money, because I completely intend to make a lot of fucking money eventually. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, it'll always be something that's true to me. And most of that stuff I've had planned since before I even started YouTube, or right when I started. You know, I'll do pretty much every business venture I go into will be something that I fuck with. Like, I'm going to partner with an energy drink company, a healthy energy drink. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice caffeine source that you can get that's quick, tasty, that's not coffee. Because I really like coffee, but sometimes I want a regular beverage. I may partner with a coffee company as well eventually. The headbands, that's coming. I plan to do my own line of that to go along with some new t-shirts and stuff that I got in the works. Books, you know, I want to get a couple book deals, and I'll leverage my platform for that. But notice, all this stuff is just me. You know what I mean? All this shit is just stuff I do, or I want to do, that I feel like I could monetize, right? Also, my speaking engagements, that's something I want to do, really mostly to give back and just to talk to me, right? Like, I can imagine me talking to a younger me in the audience, talking to an audience of 100 kids, but me sitting there and realizing that there is another avenue besides just the beaten path. Some people are built for the beaten path. Like, if you're built to be a lawyer, if you're supposed to be a lawyer, and that's what you was put on this earth to do, there's I don't say easy, but there's a path that's been traveled a whole bunch of times that's pretty clear on how to get there. But if you want to go into something creative, and you coming out of these small towns, you don't live in LA or in these places where you might have access to these types of schools and to get, you know, for these types of programs and stuff, you might be hit. Like, I'm from Mississippi. That was nothing. You know what I'm saying? That was nothing. Like, that was this little group. It was like a summer program that I was in, and we traveled around Mississippi. We was acting and singing and shit. I got made fun of like a motherfucker, and I missed a lot of basketball practice doing that, but they paid me $500, and it was a great experience. Anyway, but yeah, other business ventures, like, a lot of it will be merchandising, book sales, speaking engagements. A lot of it's going to be built around that. I may do some partnerships as well with some programs or some products that I believe in personally. And right now, I think that's where I'm going to be. I'll be launching a website eventually, and I'll move on my business stuff from there. But as I scale up, I'm sure I want to get into more and more business stuff. But never like just doing business for the sake of doing business. It'll always be something that I would have done regardless. Like, I'm gonna wear headbands and bandanas regardless, so why not have my own line? You know what I mean? Shit like that. I'm gonna express my thoughts and try to give advice where I can regardless, so why not write books and do speaking engagements? You feel me? Like, it just makes sense, because it's stuff that I'm gonna do anyway. So that's the type of businesses that I want to go into. All right, next question. MJ Humphreys, do you focus on playing offense or defense more? I'll probably focus on defense more. BBJ 2002 asks, when did you first start playing football? I didn't start playing football until like 7th grade, because we don't have organized football for anything younger than that where I'm from. So 7th grade, kind of late. Gerard Trinka asks, what editing software do you use? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. That's the industry standard. My videos could definitely look better, but that's not my editing software. That's mine. I don't have a graphics card. I need a better graphics card on my computer, right? I built a budget PC that was mostly built for streaming on everything that I had, even money I didn't have, because my partner gave me the money to buy this. And so I need to invest in a graphics card. That'll be my next thing, so my stuff can get better. But I use Adobe Premiere Pro. I need a better face camera too. So we'll be upgrading. Next, Alec Mouton, how did the family react when you told them you were doing YouTube full time? Well, I only sat down and had that talk with my girl first, because, you know, my decision directly affect her because she has my child and we live together. So I told her first, and we already talked about how she reacted. I didn't tell my mom until like 2 months in, to be honest. All right, my SD card was full, but I'm back. Where were we? Yeah, how did the family react? So yeah, I told my mom, which was like 2 months after I did it. she said she already knew something was up, but but people are very supportive because number one, I'm very good at communicating and explaining why I make a decision, and when I talk to you about it, it's very final. Like, I don't talk like I'm asking your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an energy you give. Like, a lot of people be, well, I was thinking about doing YouTube and maybe, no, I don't. That's not how I'm speaking to you. I'm like, okay, so this is this decision I made. Here's why. I'll give you my formula, my strategy. So at this point, I'm giving you my end point. This is where I'll be. I'll be able to do this. I've been building this over this course of time. So my numbers are trending like this. By a couple months from now, I'll be here. And I have it pretty much laid out. Like, yeah, this is it. So I really hope you support it. But if you don't, it's not gonna stop me. It's not gonna change my mind. So the best thing would be for you to support it. But my mom is always very supportive of, all my decisions. Like when I dropped out of college, she didn't like it, but she understood it. Like it wasn't for me, and I was the smartest, one of the smartest kids. Like she knew. So she was just like, man, I thought you was gonna go that route, but I could see it. I could see it where you would want to do your own thing because you a free spirit like that. So she understood. So she understood the same thing. I remember I told my dad that I never went into detail with him. We don't really talk like that. Like we cool, but we don't have that type of relationship. But where we like just discussing everything. But I remember I was like, yeah, I'll be retired from working for other people by 30. And he was like, no, I said I want to be retired from working for other people by 30. He was like, well, I want to do a lot of things. Like that's like how he kind of said it. Like he ain't really. But it's cool because it's like they don't really understand. Like he don't understand this internet age, and he don't understand that the opportunity that I had, he might not have had. And so I don't fault him for that. I'm not mad, because your parents just want the best for you. Generally speaking, a lot of people, like people who try to help or give you advice, they're generally trying to help most times. They think what they're saying is the best. They think you should have a backup plan. They think that, you should take less risk. They think that, you know what I'm saying? But they're not well read at this point, and they're not really understanding the opportunities that we have today are a little bit different than they were 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's just facts. I always get way off topic. Low T's gaming. How do you think AD will perform in the league with his size and weight? I have no idea. I haven't played very much quarterback on Madden, so we'll see, man. But I like it because as I go through my growing pains of learning how to play the position on Madden, he'll be going through his growing pains. So it just works. I did the same thing with TD. And then lastly, Yino asked, are you going to do MW3 soon on your Let's Play channel? Please, you're savage. I appreciate it, I'll probably do MW3, man. Modern Warfare games are very campy. They're I'll play it. Those are my favorite games. Like, I really prefer Treyarch games, as you could probably tell from what I upload on that channel. But yeah, I think I got it right. If I have it, like I think I got it, and if indeed I do have it, yeah, I'll put it in and I'll give it some playtime over there on that channel and see what I can do, But other than that, man, that is it. How long was this? Good God, this whole thing is like 40 minutes. So some of this stuff will get cut out. This might be like 30 minutes maybe, or 30 something minutes, but we'll see. Anyway, man, the video's been long enough, so thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Other than that, I'm gonna holler at you next time. FlemLo Raps. What?